It's time to review my new... Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. I'm pumped to review this one today. I didn't really like this model when it was first launched, but now that I'm the Animal Les Paul guy, I have come to really appreciate these things. This is a limited edition 2017-2018-ish guitar, known as the Les Paul Scorpion. The official marketing for these said they were trying to build off of the popularity of the Widowed series as well as the recent Centipede model to give you another creepy crawly with some unique features. So to catch you up in case you're not familiar with those, a Widow within Gibson territory means they don't scrape the binding. It's got the color over it. So like a blue Widow has blue all over, including covering over your mother of pearl inlays on the headstock. But the initial Black Widow was done in 2009. That had a creepy crawly spider on the back. It was a cool Sam Ash exclusive. They also had a Cobra Burst that had your snake on the back. The Centipede, we have documented just a broken example. It had an interesting blending of all the different colors going on. And then don't forget about the Rattler Burst that came out at the same time. That just wasn't quite very popular. But now we got Scorpion. Unfortunately, they really let you down on the back without a cool little stripe-head Scorpion back here. But hey, they're trying to mimic the stripes of certain scorpion species by putting these stripes on the front. And it's a translucent finish. Sometimes in the stock photos, you just can't really quite tell that you can see through not only the dark area, but also your center areas. As far as I'm aware, it's the only time that Gibson ever did a production run of guitars like these. But this was a small run. They offered them in 3 colors and only made 25 of each. You had the yellow Scorpion, the red Scorpion, and the white Scorpion. And they were $5,999 brand new. Now, if you go back to that old, hey, what's Gibson doing in 2018 video, I didn't really care too much about these at that time. I thought the red was the coolest, but as non-dealer stock photos started to show up, it has this interesting purple hue to the outside. It gives you a very interesting look. Now, I know in the stock photos of all 3 of them together, it looks like it's black and that color. However, in reality, it's purple plus the middle color, which drastically changes their look from the stock images when you look at a real dealer photo. And I never realized this before today. The back is also the same really dark purple color. You just have to get it in the sunlight to see through to the wood grain. But if you want something similar to this, but you can't find a Scorpion, the Mod Collection has been doing a whole bunch of these. There's a million Chinese counterfeit fakes out there. Like, you can go to eBay and pick up something that looks similar for $250. This is one of those ideas that just took time to grow because not everybody sees a Scorpion out of this. Some guys just see racing stripes and cool flames. But besides just our cool paint job and flame top, we have Super 400 Inlays. I don't know why they chose it, but it's cool. Maybe it's because they have some strikes and dashes through it. If this was just regular custom block emblems, I'm not sure it would be as cool as it is today and survive the test of time. It's just something that gives this a little bit extra. And it also helps that there's a really cool rock band called Scorpions, so you can tongue-in-cheek play their music on this guitar and feel like it's a signature model. But if you want the true signature Scorpions, I also got videos on those. Explorer and Flying V's. Because outside of that, this is just a regular Les Paul custom. It's got the 9-hole weight relief, Nashville-style tune-o-matic, regular 490R, 498T humbuckers. And you gotta remember, this one was birthed within the Rich Light era. So a purist might hate this model for that, but honestly, I kind of like the Rich Light era. It's fun now that it's no longer forced upon you. I guess that's a good way to put it. Rich Light always looks so bad straight out of the case, but after a couple of years of playing and seasoning, it tends to look just as good as ebony, and you don't have to worry about fretboard shrinkage and fret sprout as much on these models. But what kind of case came with this? It's just your regular lift-in reissue style, pink interior, brown exterior. And for our case, I am so glad this person kept this because Sam Ash no longer exists as far as a full-on retail operation. And the fact that these are the guys that birthed the Widowed series, it's very apropos that a Scorpion was sold by them. As far as our pre-pack checklist, it was just listed as a Les Paul custom. It was built in November of 2017. That's also when they were announced. So you'll find 2017 and 2018 serial numbers on these. For my collection, I still lump it in with the other 2018 limited editions, such as the Year of the Dog Les Paul, the SG Koa Flying Eagle, Modern Flying V. I'm getting excited just thinking about all these models. I need to pull them all out. For whatever reason, I am just deeply passionate about that weird last year, the Henry J era. So many weird things were produced. They were just trying to be like, please give us some money. We're desperate. We're going to try all these weird things and hope something sticks. But you got to remember, it wasn't the guitars that was ever bringing Gibson down. It was all the other stuff that the late Henry J era got into. And thankfully, I've got the COA on this one, billing it as a Les Paul Custom F. So far, so good. We'll clean this one up, take an individual look at its parts and specs, and then hopefully I'll be able to say this one is being added to my collection. Short of finding anything terribly wrong. She cleaned up beautifully, found a few small blemishes, and noticed a few changed parts, but we'll get to that as we go. But first things first, let's go ahead and check out our pickups. Everything is as spec sheets say, 490R in the neck, 498T in the bridge. That is the standard pickup set ever since the 90s on a regular Les Paul Custom. However, the pickup cavities are kind of cool on this one. So it's got a long neck tenon. It's right around this time that regular Les Paul Customs get moved into the long neck tenon. There is a period of time where they have short necks. But I like all the different colorings you have within these cavities. And here's some cryptic messaging in our bridge pickup. You can see our bare maple top joining onto our mahogany body. And it's kind of cool just to be able to see this design without the pickups over top of it. I think another reason why this model has grown on me is it kind of reminds you of a Spotlight Special, because the center stripe is the correct size for the original, and then it also pays tribute to the reissue being way too wide, but it's its own thing. Those pickups read 13.49 k ohms in the bridge, 7.75 in the neck, and they play together at 4.92. But now for our bridge and tailpiece. I noticed when we unboxed it, it was actually upside down, so somebody goofed that up at some point, but we're gonna fix that. It's just a regular advanced plating incorporated Nashville style, with the studs in the body for mounting, but utilizes a lightweight aluminum tailpiece done up in gold. As far as the condition, you can see there is some light wear to the gold on our bridge pickup, and especially some wear to the top side of our thumb wheels. But I did not realize this when buying the guitar. These came stock with speed knobs. Somebody has swapped into reflectors, and I gotta say, I don't hate it. In fact, I think it should have just came stock with them because it works really well with this whole two-tone look. And I'm Mr. Originality over here. I'm not going to bother replacing them. But another unique thing about the Scorpion Les Paul is the fact that it does not ship with a pick guard installed. That would just ruin the entire vibe of this. But they do still give you a poker chip over here. But it's just your regular 2 volumes and 2 tones. But now we can move on from our body to our neck. It's a mahogany neck, again, with the Richlight fretboard. The Richlight era was 2011 through about mid-2019 or so. And if you have a Richlight guitar and you're like, how do I clean this thing? Go ahead and polish your frets the way you normally do. And then Richlight, the company themselves, they suggest the best way is just a damp paper towel. Get it wet, wring it out, and then just go to town cleaning. Now this looks a little bit less greasy, and I was able to remove the oxidation on some of these frets. But now measurements, about 1.7 at the nut, 2.06 by the 12th. First fret neck depth, 0.86. And wow, 0.97 by the 12th. It is a C-shaped neck, kind of in the medium to small territory. And now that it's all cleaned up, the pearl can shine. Something about the Super 400 inlays on this particular model just works so well, and I think it's because we have these dark lines within the natural center there. They play off of each other very well. But if you're curious what the regular inlays would have looked like, one actually did leave the factory like that. I'm not sure if that's actually part of the Scorpion Run or if it was a mistake, but it has a 2018 serial number. Cool anomaly, but I definitely prefer the Super 400s. But the face of the headstock polished up nicely. In fact, the whole front of the guitar is actually relatively clean outside of just minor polishing swirls and picking scratches. But our truss rod works as intended, and the truss rod cover just says Les Paul Custom, no Scorpion. And now we move on to the back. So the seller said there was a couple of dings on the back, otherwise the guitar is in pretty good shape, right? So I imagined it'd be something like this, a couple of small ones that are really hard to see since there weren't any direct photos of it, but no, that's what he was talking about. That's unfortunate. There's also some buckle worming back here after I cleaned it up that wasn't able to be seen before. But is it bad enough to say, no, this one's not good enough for my collection? I'm going to keep it for now until maybe I find a slightly cleaner one, because overall condition and what I paid, I think I'm okay with this one for now. But someone definitely played this one at home. We've got Schaller strap locks installed in both locations. And then our tuners were actually upgraded to the locking Grover style. And when it comes to tuners and strap buttons, you can fill rebuild those and re-drill them for the regulars. It's not that big of a deal. But thankfully, the pickups were never messed with. That's something I try to avoid in my collection, because I know in the future, one day my collection will be liquidated, and I want to make it as easy as possible for those people by having original examples. I never realized these were really dark purple backs before I got this. You can actually still see the wood grain, which is fantastic, because that was always something I hated about these. Straight ebony backs are just boring to me because they just become scratch magnets. And if you didn't know to look for it, you might not see the thin binding in the cutaway, but it is there. It is a transparent finish on the edge as well. But now we can move up the back side of the neck. Just some minor scratches. Gibson custom decal. Sadly, no little scorpion dude back here. And then those tuners we already saw. And the serial number on this one's quite faint, but dates to 2017. The 3,499th guitar of that particular year with this serial number style. But this guitar, it's 100% mandatory to do a blacklight test, because if you didn't know, Scorpions actually glow under blacklight. So of course I had to see if the Scorpion Les Paul would as well. It's got just enough age to it. It's starting to get a little bit of a green hue, but in like 20 to 30 years, it's going to be even better, especially if somebody plays it at a smoky bar. I was mainly wanting to check if there were any finish discolorations down here. Yeah, looks like maybe something was left in the stand or something. I noticed that while cleaning, where it looked like maybe the finish was very lightly disturbed by something, but it's so dark you can't normally tell, so it's not that big of a deal. But everything's looking peachy on our neck here. No hidden breaks, cracks, or repairs. We're good. But all said and done, this stinging beast only weighs 8 pounds, 14.7 ounces. So let's go ahead, plug it in, and hear how it sounds. About this guitar is it's really attacking. That's the clean channel. It already sounds slightly overdriven. Now if you pick softer, yeah, you can get it into clean territory. I noticed that for the neck too. But when your guitar looks this menacing, I think those tones fit it. Now let's kick on some dirt. Dude, this thing's awesome. I love it. If I could count how many times while I was playing this thing that I was like, ugh, it's a Richlite fretboard, it would be 0. Maybe it's not for everyone, but it's definitely unique and striking. I think this belongs in like some sort of a hard rock / metal band. Showing up to your jazz gig, this might be a little bit too fancy, but you know what? At the same time, I don't judge. You can play whatever you want for whatever genre. However, I thought the particular 490R 498T set in this guitar suited it perfectly. And I recorded this guitar with 2 others on the same day. They were all like 11-pound boat anchors. So this one feels like just ridiculously light and is very refreshing. But if there's one thing I learned about the Scorpion series by reviewing it, again, these are mainly purple, really dark purples, especially the back. So even though we don't have a fun little goofy decal on the back side of the headstock, I will still definitely be holding this one into my collection. Now if I ever find a slightly cleaner one day, maybe then I might swap it out. But at the same time, I like knowing that I can pick this one up and play because it's got a couple of dings already. But alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed finally seeing a Scorpion in the flesh. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.